The group chat with Tara Thomas and Amanda Goodman of Faith and Four-Letter Words.
We made it. Happy Friday, everyone. If you survived the week, if you're like a lot of us, you're probably dealing with the claims and the insurance headaches because many a windshield was ruined, destroyed by the hail, and cars. So, and then of course, houses. So my one friend, Arlene, her whole street, I mean, they had so much hail damage, and then just so many of the downtown parts of Waterloo were just ravaged by hail. So I discovered last night that the windshield is cracked, and I hadn't seen it. It's like the bottom corner.
Right.
So I went from thinking it was just the hood of my daughter's car to now it's the windshield. So
Right.
so I'll be reaching out, as so many people have this week, to the adjusters or to the insurance, and they're saying that the damage is so widespread that it's going to take months for some of these roofing companies and body repair shops to catch up. And then by the time they come to you, it may be snowing, so you may have to delay getting your roof fixed until like next year.
But you have to be really careful. Good morning, by the way. It's April 17th. It's Friday, April 17th. You have to be really careful. Make sure you're not giving anybody money up front for work.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people.
scams.
There's a lot of cockroaches out there, especially for older people. They're going to give you this whole spiel, and then they're going to tell you that they want you to sign the contract and they want you to give a deposit up front. They're going to take your money and they're never going to do the work. So please do not do that. Only use a reputable company. Only use a local company. Don't use any company that you've never heard of or something that's someone that's coming from, outside the area. A lot of people knocking on doors lately. We had some neighbors that were checking they went up on the roof and there was significant hail damage on the roof. And we weren't even thinking that. I actually drove my husband's car here and I noticed he has hail damage on his door, and that's
It's
how
like
crazy
you said, it was sideways.
I'm telling you, I have never seen hail like that. And we are getting ready for another round. If you are in the Midwest, this is what it's like living in basically Tornado Alley. We are getting ready for another round of severe weather. Again, it's going to happen right after school. So, all of our soccer games that were already rescheduled, we're going to reschedule probably again. And then I also have, the younger two, they have storm anxiety and they panic. And I was the exact same way. I was playing softball one year. I was 8 and I saw lightning in the distance. It was probably like 100 miles away, but I saw lightning in the distance. And I was like, you got to call the game. I come running from the outfield. I'm like, got to call the game. There's lightning. And then my coach was like, you're okay. And proceeded to sit me down on a metal bench. And I sat on the metal bench.
Oh my gosh.
With lighting.
Attracting the
We
lighting.
were smart.
And I'm in the opposite camp. If you are like me and you grew up in the Midwest, I'm very much not afraid of any storms. And that has put me in position to be, like many of you, too risky over the years.
Are you like the meme that, when they make fun of Iowans, when the tornado is right there and the Iowan has the coffee cup and they're sitting on the back deck staring at the tornado?
Growing up, it was like, you always had severe weather. So there were many situations where you are caught unaware, right? And then my dad was like the one who would be like, okay, we can like outrun the funnel cloud. So I remember one time we were driving when we saw a funnel cloud in the distance and people were like pulling off, getting into ditches. And then my dad's like, I'm just going to gun it. And I've driven in storm after storm, monsoons, blizzards.
Oh, yes, I have been with you.
Just so many. And for whatever reason, I'm like not phased, even though I realize obviously the conditions can be treacherous. But my husband, as a contrast, where he grew up in Washington State, they do not have thunderstorms, the kind of thunderstorms that we have. And they have a blizzard never happens because he's in a high desert east of the Cascades. And so for him, his first entree to storms was when we went to my friend's wedding in Jackson, Mississippi. And he had never seen a downpour like that. And he was like, this is like, and I was like, yeah, it's like you're getting sprayed by a fire hose. If you are familiar with the climate in the Northwest, Seattle, everyone always thinks our assumption or the stereotype is that it rains there all the time. The truth is we get more rain per capita annually in Iowa than they do in Seattle. And that's because it doesn't pour or they don't have storms. They just have a light mist.
Okay.
So you don't
Oh.
have to have an umbrella, and you don't, in our world of comparison, I could be out in the rain in Seattle and this is nothing. And that's the difference. And
Mhm.
people don't, it's still dreary, but it's not like here. And so, yeah, so my husband is very much that person. He is interested in and likes to sit on the front porch when there's a storm, because he just never saw that. until he
Front
moved
porch life
here.
is nice. You have a very
Yeah.
nice front porch, like, because it's like that nice.
And
you
we're
know,
those people that sit out there,
rock
you know,
and-
and like,
watch people.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we're in a
Do you
lot
talk
of you
crap
are
about
probably
people?
not so much, but you know,
Are
your
you like-
voice carries, so we can hear people that are approaching, talking, or walking by. And if you know my husband, he's a yard fanatic, and so every summer, every year, when he's got the yard like looking like a baseball field and striped, he stripes it. We hear people say like, "Look at, have you seen this yard?" Or so. I mean, it's
Oh,
kind of fun
yeah.
for him because
Yeah.
he gets the accolades.
Because it is a nice yard. The grass is phenomenal. Like, if you like, you have to like.
But the dogs have kind of messed that up.
No, I can't tell. It's very soft grass. You have like really good grass, like good grass to go outside and ground. And if you've never done that before, that's the first thing you're supposed to do in the morning.
You're right.
You're
I've heard
supposed
of
to- You're
this.
supposed to go outside in the morning and look at the sun and take, don't have anything on your feet, be barefoot and just put your feet in the grass and ground yourself and look at the sun.
Sun salutation.
And it really does. It kind of like sets your energy,
that's a
and
good
it's
peaceful start.
it is
Do you
peaceful.
do that?
I don't, because I don't have time to go
I
grounding.
know. I was like, I haven't done that either.
I don't have time, and I'm out the door before the sun comes up. So I need to. I think I need some grounding. I think I need some things to calm me, especially during high school sports season, like watching. I stay in my car, by the way, for home games. I have to stay.
Which is nice that you can pull the car.
It's
up
very nice. You back your car up to our field at the home field, and I sit in
for
the back
soccer.
for the soccer games, and it's best for everybody that I do.
It's so nice. And for you, we've been talking about all the stages we're going through. So she's going through her daughter's senior year, which
Mhm.
means her last season of high school soccer. And then we both, having me a junior and her a senior, we're both anticipating prom. So my
Right.
son's prom is coming up May 2nd, and Gia's is this Saturday, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 48
And-
degrees.
Oh gosh. And so we, the moms, the junior moms, a lot of us that are close friends, the boy mom brigade, as I like to call us, we just had another meeting last night, a 3-hour tour
That
to
would
talk
I
about
would
the
jump.
post-prom.
I'm sorry.
And so
No,
it was
I don't care if I'm
only-
with my friends or not. I'm not having a meeting for 3 hours.
No, only
ever.
part of it was the meeting, and the rest was
I
like
see.
venting and socializing. So
Okay.
I appreciate that so much, because if you have other moms that you're close with, it's just nice to, complain and say all the things
Sure.
that annoy you, even though we're not the experts and we're not going to solve all the
Right,
problems. It's
right.
still fun to just like have a, what do they
Well,
call
we
it?
were-
Lemon squeeze.
We were discussing like your post prom is not mandatory type of thing, and mine, our school, like most small schools, they do have a mandatory, which I like because there is things that happen, and all the idea is to keep kids safe. So everybody goes together, and the idea is, which I like, they're on a bus. They do that because we don't want kids on the road. I mean, and I remember high school, none of us should have been driving. None of us should have been driving in post prom. And I don't know, does your school do you do the sit down dinner as well, or do kids go out to dinner? How do
Kids
you
go out to dinner.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they go
Okay.
and it's Waterloo. So for me, it's a small town, but Waterloo is the biggest city in Eastern Iowa right now, outside of like Dubuque and Cedar Rapids. So for the kids that go to the schools in Waterloo, it's like my school, which was an urban high school, where it's like you have so many kids coming from other schools, and then a lot of kids that maybe aren't even going to go, or if they do go, they don't want to go
Sure.
to the
It's good that it's an
post-prom
option.
thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, so I mean, it's so
I don't think
different.
any.
It's so
I don't think.
different.
I don't think any kid really wants to go to post prom.
But it is nice when you're all in it together, right? So then everyone's going.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think
So,
that
yeah.
like
But what
I
about the kids that don't go? Can they still go to post prom? Because our prom, you can go to the post
I'm not
prom
sure.
and you don't have to go to the dance. And
What-
so that's kind of nice.
well, I think most kids do go. Most kids do,
That's
and I
good.
do
That's
like.
good.
So my daughter's high school, so senior, so this is her second prom. So I like it because it's very much like my high school and all the schools back home. They go and it's at the event center, and then they have a sit down dinner, and
That's
everything
nice.
is like right because it's your first. I mean, it's your first kind of entrance into the real world. It's like, your first formal event that you do by yourself. And I will never forget, I went to the prom 3 years. And my senior year, I just went with a good friend of mine, Joey. I mean, that's how
That's
Joey
fun.
and I grew up together. We went to preschool together. And how he asked me to the prom, there was no promposal. We were eating Elio's pizza on a Friday. And he's like, Goodman, you going to the prom? I go, yeah, I get, yeah, I'm going. Yeah. He's like, you want to go? Sure. We were playing basketball in our tux and gown before.
Oh, that's fun.
And I will never forget, we're at this, beautiful, beautiful ballroom. And he looks at me when he was sitting across the table. That's how close we were. He was sitting across the table. He's like, Goodman, throw me a roll. There you go. It was just very, I'm like,
Very informal for a formal gathering.
Very informal.
I like that the kids go out to nice restaurants. My
That's
son
nice.
is very particular about his food. And so
That's nice.
he isn't thrilled at the restaurant that all their group that's going wanted to go to. So I was like, just be adventurous and order something new on the menu. But I mean,
I'm curious. You'll have to show me off camera.
yeah, so it's a downtown restaurant that Dave and I love. And so it's just fun because right now, I mean, the kids are definitely at that age where if you're like my husband, you're worried about like turning your son into a man. So he's already been, giving Thomas the pointers and the tips about you have to open the door for women or girls. You have to do, you
That's
make
nice.
the reservation, those kinds of things. And so it's good because I think in some ways it's like, it's evolved in that not everyone has to have a date. And that's what I
like
love
that.
about our school, like my son's school. There's so many kids that come and they come with friends. And so it's not like this pressure of you have to have an opposite gender date, because I think that in the past has excluded a lot of people.
Oh yeah, well, it's the same in small. I don't care what size school you go to. It's the same with whatever school they do. I saw that a lot of homecoming. It's kids going with
That's
friends,
great. That's
and I
great.
love that because you don't need to wait. It's kind of crazy. And I still think it's crazy. Why do the boys get to decide who the girls are going to prom with, or who, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, why is it the
right.
boys' decision? Why can't the girls ask? Why can't? I mean, my junior year, I asked somebody to go to prom. He went to the public school because I was trying to be like, look at me, I'm a baddie. I'm a baddie taking the public school kid to the prom, right? So but I mean, it's why do we get to decide, right? And it's I think it puts a lot of pressure on the boys too. Like, why do they have to be the ones? I mean, it puts a lot of pressure because a lot of boys too. It's okay for boys, especially at this age, to be tenderhearted or shy and all of the things. And a lot of girls today are not tenderhearted and shy. I do not have one tenderhearted or shy daughter in my house. So it's kind of
that's funny.
like I have told like my daughter, especially my oldest, I'm very much like, well, you do it. Or like whatever it's something like if it's, you do it, like you schedule it, and sometimes you have to tell people. Like boys aren't like mind readers.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something, you have to be like, well, this is what I like. Like
And I think it's also interesting how we perceive all the girls as wanting all the attention. And in fact, this friend of my son's that he wants to take to prom, that girl didn't want a promposal. She doesn't want any kind of public display. And so I think that that's really rare. And I think it's not a surprise then that my son has a friendship with her because he's a very close to the vest person. Yes. And so he, has like done his TikToks here and there, but I mean, very much as we've talked about, our kids have probably gravitated to the opposite end of the spectrum, having been raised by people like us who were so greatest showmen,
Yes. Loud,
yeah.
little loud.
They retreat from the publicity and the attention. And so I think that's not a bad thing when you have kids that just say, you know what, I don't have to like do all the things as like a display.
So you'll appreciate this. So yesterday, Lucci comes home from school and we have Amazon packages everywhere because prom is Saturday. And so there's a box and Lucci opens it up. She's like, is this a wig? And I said, no. Those are hair extensions. She's like, oh, great. Gia's morphing into you.
Oh my God.
So Gia has her hair. She wants like little longer hair, wants some more volume, and I can't. I mean, my husband looked, he's like, you want what? But I'm like, I don't even blink. I mean, I can't, I have a weave in my head. Like, So she's
She's
got.
morphing into you.
Yeah, she's more maybe. Lucia's like,
She's so funny. She's like your grandma telling you
Oh.
like, her with her lines.
with me. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yesterday, listen, I was at the soccer game, and since I sit in the back of my car, I dress like a bum, right? Like I am comfortable. I'm wearing my sweatpants, and it was hot. It was too hot. The sweatpants. I was like roasting. So I went home real quick, and then I'm like, oh. Like, let me put shorts on because I'm going to pick up Lucci from basketball. I literally rethought my outfit choice.
She's getting to you.
She's getting to me.
Oh yeah, if
She's
you
getting
saw
to me.
that reel she did, she was like lamenting Lucci's critique of her pickup attire that she posted on our Faith and Four Letter Words page, which it was hilarious. And when you panned over to Lucci,
Yeah,
that was so funny.
She is just hot mess. And it's like, think about all of us, like all of you watching. Our children criticize, or you get to the teen stage and you're not cool and you're not. We taught you how to use a spoon. We taught you how to go potty. You know what I mean? Like there was once a time that we couldn't even go into the bathroom by ourselves. Like you would come with us.
That's so true. My daughter always says about my son, you were on your mom's boob all the time, because he was like a big nerd, like he used breastfeeding as that was like his pacifier, or I used it to pacify him. So for a time, his nickname was Titty.
Oh,
Then my husband was like, Titty? You're going to call him that someday if he plays sports? Like, Titty.
that
And
word.
then I was like, well, in Friday Night Lights, remember that kid was Booby.
Booby.
And
Booby
so I
Miles.
always
Put
liked
Booby in.
Booby.
Yeah.
So, but no, the name didn't stick. But yeah, he definitely was.
He's probably
a
quite
breastfeeding
thankful
kid.
for that. So it always makes me laugh when like kids like, give their parents attitude or they mock us or we're not cool. It's like,
Oh yeah,
the
moms. We're doing T-shirts that are going to be like a.
this is the prom.
Like
moms?
the
Okay.
post prom posse is what we want to do,
Okay.
and it's like a nod to the Triple Threat tour with Belle Biv DeVoe, where they had the puff paint.
Oh.
So we were kind of doing, and one of our friends' husbands does T-shirt designs, and so he designed kind of like that 90s look, post prom posse. So of course, when I said something to my son about it,
I was
he
just
like,
gonna
"Was
ask.
that your idea?" Because it's so stupid.
I was gonna ask how Thomas is gonna feel
One
about
of
you.
the moms wanted us to put our son's names on the
Oh,
back,
no.
and I was like, "Okay, the good news is with longer hair,
Now-
maybe my hair would cover."
Where are you? Will you be interacting with Thomas? at
No,
post
he
prom?
probably
Okay.
won't even want to
I was
talk to
gonna
me.
say,
So
like, are you
I'm
gonna-
Michelle and I are gonna man the cakewalk. We're doing an and I said I can bring my portable microphones that Amanda and I use on
God.
Faith and Four Letter
Oh, God.
Words and do like
Don't do it.
come on kids, come on over to the cakewalk. Do like a carnival, little PT Barnum,
Oh my gosh.
little carnival call.
Thomas.
So Thomas will have nothing to do with me. And in fact, as I was telling you, I don't know how long some of these kids are going to stay. One of the moms was shocked to learn that her son said he will be making an appearance, but he doesn't know how long he's going to stay. But it's fine. The moms do a lot. And let's face it, kids today are jaded, cynical. They've done all the things, right? We would have been a lot more excited about stuff that for them is just like they're very blasé about. But hats off to the moms to putting in all the effort for these post proms, and for us it's like a social thing. We're doing it for ourselves.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to do it socially. Like I don't even.
Well,
and
you
I'm not.
have plenty of opportunities
things-
with 4 kids.
This is a very busy weekend. We have prom.
Well, yes.
We have like sports all day Saturday. We have prom, and then Sunday we have first communion, and then we have Nico's birth. It is a very, very, and then my parents are coming to town. But post prom, like I was jaded. I wasn't jaded in high school, but if you told me and everybody I went to high school with at the Bishop McDevitt High School, if you were like, we're gonna go and you're gonna go rock climbing and you're gonna go swimming, we would have been like, no thanks. We're going to drink Mad Dog. We're gonna go have Mad Dog and Boone's Farm, and
so funny.
And I will never ever forget this. My sophomore year, I went to prom because I was dating somebody who was a junior, and this is back in the day when Express came out with the bodysuits.
Oh god.
I mean, they're back, they've been back, but like bodysuits. And I will never, this outfit was like clutch. It was like this navy and white bodysuits. And like, it was just clutch. Okay. Cause I was with all the upperclassmen. I was like, I have to look like, cool. So I am at this party and it was in a very dingy basement. Everyone's like drinking. And I think I held a cup. I wasn't drinking anything. And everyone was yelling, get out, get out, get out, move, move, move. And I'm like, what? Here around the corner, and my high school has always been phenomenal football school, big time football school. Here comes like the 6'5" offensive lineman, like who's over 300 pounds, around the corner like this.
Oh my gosh.
Projectile.
Oh.
Punch all like all
Oh, and
over
you
my
got
new.
hit.
I got hit.
Oh,
I got
your-
hit.
Your
I got hit hard.
bodysuit.
I got hit hard on my bodysuit, and like I had to throw the bodysuit away. Like I had to throw the bodysuit away. I was so upset about it, but I was like, that was my. I remember that was what we were doing. In
Okay,
post-prom.
you just saying about that bodysuit reminds me of I had my senior year the signature Jessica McClintock cocktail style prom dress. I have to find this photo because it is like iconic. And I still have it.
Yes.
And Charlotte, my daughter, had it on like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago when I pulled it out of the archives. And so it was so fun. And
Mine
cute
was also
to
a
see
Jessica
her.
McClintock.
Remember that
sophomore year.
brand?
Yes.
That was such an iconic
Yes.
brand. And it was so cool that, you know, among like how much can we really save all the years of, and the moves? And we talk about how it's just hold on to everything.
I have not.
I'm glad I have.
I'm glad
that
I
dress.
have. I don't have a dress saved from.
Okay, and we have to show you that photo that we promised. I was
Oh,
able
from
to
the
upload
90s
it.
hip hop party.
So here we are.
Oh Lord.
When we were celebrating our joint birthday, Amanda killed it with the Adidas and the and you even cut off the sleeves. And then I had
Oh, it came like that.
the open, okay, it looks good. I had the open shoulders with like kind of a nod to the Grecian gods. And I did have
The
we both
Grecian
had-
hip hops.
Yeah, we
That's
both
good. The
had
cornrow.
the cornrow. And so I love this photo of us because it's been over the years that we've become friends. It's been so fun that we were able to celebrate
That
our
was a good night.
joint birthdays.
That
all
was a
these
fun night.
years.
Clearly, that was when I participated in a lot of libations. I can tell by my eyes and the smoky eye. Like, God, stop with the smoky eye. So Tara's looking for a
I
Jessica
found it.
McClintock.
I found it.
Oh wow! Oh okay.
Okay, so
I
I
like
have
it.
to
I like
send-
it.
I have to show you guys this.
This
So
is
okay, so the other thing that we wanted to mention before we forget, because we keep like, I don't know, like me blabbing on. We wanted to remind you that we do have a show next week, and it's at a winery that everyone is saying that we've talked to that knows about it is a beautiful venue, and it's Fireside Winery in Marengo. And so we're so excited to be there. So this upcoming Wednesday in Marengo, and then another return show in Cedar Falls. This time we're at New Aldea. So we're so excited to be going to a new, you know, very nice facility in Cedar Falls, New Aldea. And what's great is it's open to the public. So even if you don't have, if you're not a resident of New Aldea or you don't have a connection to it, anybody, including residents, is welcome to buy a ticket and come. So they're on our website, faithandfourletterwords.com. You click on that link and then it'll show you all the upcoming shows. Do you want to mention the other upcoming shows? Because I remember the dates.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So next week is Marengo. While we have you here at 7:23, by the way, we were getting ready. We stay weather aware today. There's a lot of really good storm chasers on social media. They're just phenomenal. With the Dominator, they just really give. I like the Iowa Storm Chasing Network on Facebook.
Okay.
They really give you they pinpoint, and then they show you where the storm is and where it's headed, and it's just very comprehensive. They don't waste your time. It's not any fluff. It's just, you know, here's what you need to know, get in, get out. So we're in Marengo April 22nd. April 29th is the show she was just talking about in Cedar Falls at New Aldea. The following week, May 6th, after our birthday, the week after our birthday, we are in LeClaire at the Mississippi River Distilling Company Celebration Center. We love it down there. Then we're going to go to
We'd
Nevada.
love to see you if you or anybody you know has connections to the, you know, the border, the Mississippi River border.
The 13th, we're in Nevada, and on May 27th, this show is selling out very fast, and we are in Osage. So on May 27th, get your tickets for Osage. I will be like
Cedar River Center.
I
Our
will
friend
be a
Sarah
mess.
is bringing us there.
After that, like, I mean, that's when graduation, everything's over, like graduation's over. And, you know, and then I will have, you know, the adult who needs to get a job for the summer. Like, come on. Like, and she wants,
And
you're not.
and you've been clear, and I understand this, that you would like her to have a job that might be a little bit more higher paying to fund her higher end taste.
You know what I told her? And like, here are the places that pay. This place pays really well. I said, work at Menards or Lowe's. They pay so
That's
well.
true. They
Work
do.
at Menards. Go in there, focus, run that register, and just like knock it out. Like, we don't need to be laying by a pool and getting a tan. You know what I mean?
Because
And
she's worked at
a
like
country
a
club.
lifeguard job type. Yeah.
She worked
I'm gonna
at,
pull
you
this
know,
photo
she
up.
worked as a lifeguard. So we're not doing that. Oh, this is the Jessica McClintock.
So I got to share this. Oh, and hi, Barb. Our friend Barb is watching this morning. And I ran into her last night when I was out there at that prom
Oh,
meeting.
my.
So it was good to see Barb.
nice.
And yes, and I'm going to.
It's a very nice dress.
pull this
I like
up.
that white one in the middle, the white dress too.
Yeah, I got to show you guys this. I'm so happy that I found it. So this is my senior prom. Come on. There we go. So that's
Okay.
me on the right. And of course,
you look
yeah,
exactly the
of
same.
course, thank you. And I had a very nice tight updo.
Yes.
And then my friend Chris Baird and Kelly Doolin. Chris is in the white and Kelly's and that
I like that white
what do
dress
you
too.
call that?
Chiffon.
No, how we had kind of that chrome hue,
Okay.
iridescent.
Right.
That's made a
Iridescent.
comeback with
Yes.
manicures.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of you have it too.
I have it right now.
Yeah. So it's so funny that the chrome
Mhm.
kind of iridescent look is back. So that Jessica McClintock, this is what's hilarious is if you ever had
What year
the
was that?
1991,
Okay.
if you ever had the valance, remember the
Mhm.
old school valances in the 90s that you'd have across
Yeah.
the top of your window. And then my mom had all the interior decorating tips and tricks long before DIY was a thing. And she said, you take the bag coverings from your dry cleaning and you bunch it up and then you put the plastic
Inside the balance.
underneath.
Yes, my mother did that
Yes,
same thing. That's
yes,
so
to give
funny.
it the poof. So I had to store my Jessica McClintock with some plastic
Okay.
in this, you know what I mean?
I like
In
those
the- in
dresses.
the shoulders.
Bring back all that. I have a sad story. So my sister, she graduated in 90. Okay. So years ago, it was also a very big trend that you would get your prom gown made. Like it was like a whole
Okay,
deal thing.
okay.
So when she was a junior, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this, we have moved on now. But this is awful. I mean, this is like awful. So she had this prom gown made, and it was the most, it was like this lavender color. It was beautiful, made. And my sister was like this tiny little petite thing, curly hair, very tiny, very, you know. Junior year, she's waiting, and she's dressed, and he never comes. The date never comes. The date never comes.
That's
so
like out of a Lifetime movie.
It's literally, it's
Oh my
unbelievable.
gosh.
And I don't remember a ton of it because at the time I was in 6th grade. And so,
Sure,
right.
Sure.
But I remember this. I will never forget this. She's like, she was on the phone because she had a house phone, no cell phones, obviously. She was on the house phone. She hung out. And my mom isn't like, what did he say? What did he say? And the kid told her, he was like, I want to go with somebody who looks like Christy Brinkley. And I was like, who's Christy Brinkley? I had no idea what was going on. My sister rebounded the next year. And she went with this guy. Like this guy was so hot. Like so like I can't even say his name because I'm too worried that somebody from his family is watching right now. He was so like to the point where even after my sister got engaged or my sister was married and like had kids, and when she turned, I think it was when she turned 30 or 40, we threw a party for her at my parents' house, and I put pictures of that senior prom all over because this guy, you needed to look at him again, right? But I will never forget that. And I don't know if my sister has ever talked about it since. The damage.
It was traumatizing.
That is
It's
traumatizing. To like, and
mhm.
then it was one of those things. Like I remember, because this is like, if I'm upset about something or if I'm embarrassed or if people think that I'm embarrassed, like don't ask me if I'm okay, because then it's going to make it worse. So I've always felt like that. So I remember just being like, you want me to make popcorn? Because I didn't want to be like, are you okay? Because everyone was like, you're beautiful, you're da-da-da-da. And like, she was like, I know. I mean, like, it was just can you imagine being
so
let me tell you,
traumatic.
if anybody does that to one of my kids, dirt nap. Like I would literally see red. Would you not? Like I would.
It'd be awful, especially what you described at a time when that was very much, people were still in the more traditional mode of the guy is going to come pick her up and she's going to walk down the stairs.
And this guy was
it's so sad. I feel so bad for her.
He was no Matthew McConaughey, that guy, like that kid. And I think my mom will tell this story now because my mom is very, very still bothered by it. Like my mom
Oh, of course.
is very, very bothered by it, as you can
Yes.
imagine. I think that if that would have happened to me, my mom would have been like, "You'll be fine," and because I have a mouth.
Because Kimmy was, she felt that Kimmy was more vulnerable or sensitive,
right,
and
it
that's
was
sad because then you would have that we always talk about this. If you are the person who has that like strong exterior, we still get hurt too, but then we just make it seem like we can handle it better.
Well, people will just pile on more,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
think that we can handle it. But I
And
will
that's
never
not
forget
true.
that. I will never forget that moment for my sister, and I hate like sharing that without her permission. But it's been she has moved on.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I remember thinking about that, and I'm like, now, I mean, if that happened, like, I
Now
mean,
you see how
I
awful it was, especially because you have your own children, and to that, the
Can you
thought of
imagine?
them going through that.
especially like she was so excited because it was like a big deal. Like only the cool kids had these gowns made.
Amy said, "I bet that guy is fat and bald managing a TV
He
station."
most likely is. I probably worked for him.
Managing
I
a
probably,
TV station.
yeah,
That's
he
hilarious.
probably is.
So, okay. So my friend is calling me. I'm gonna have to call him back. I'm doing a live show right now. I am on live streaming.
That is something that you do that makes me laugh. When Tara is like writing an email, and if she's on the phone or she's writing a text and she's on the phone, she will say it out loud, and it's very endearing. It's like remember those speak and say? What were those speak and says that we had growing up? The thing that
Oh,
came in
yeah,
like the
yeah,
handle,
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
I used to love.
I'm
that
very much a talk to text person, which is very annoying to my children. So one thing I was going to say that I think is a good thing, where we have come as a society and a culture that's a plus, is kids today are very accepting of differences. And so
Yes.
what I see a lot at my son's high school, and what my husband always would, highlight or compliment kids about for years teaching there is so much acceptance for kids who are different. And what I mean by that is like your kid might not have any interest in like a traditional prom dress or tuxedo, and maybe like you described, they're going to like make their own clothes, or they're going to fashion a completely different look. And kids today, just if they've been exposed, as many of them have, to so much diversity, they don't judge that the same way that I think the younger generations did. And that's a plus, that we've like desensitized kids in some ways to not be so critical of people who look different than them.
And I think that's a testament to
great,
how we're raising them and how you're raising them.
It's just a gift, right?
Yeah.
Because back in the day, if the kid, we called them corn chips. Today they call them like emo. And if you're from the Northwest, it was called grunge, right? And so there was like a look that started to define kids that maybe now would be more in like the Marilyn Manson camp, like to date
like
me
the
with Gen X.
Yes.
And sometimes then when it comes to like prom, the way that those kids or kids wanting to dress like that would show up, they were more goth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that back in the day, there would be like parents would be like, and now it's just like, oh,
well, I think
whatever.
Because we were very accepting when we were in school.
Yeah.
And so now it's like we're the ones raising the kids.
That's
Because
true.
for us, it's like it's no big deal. Like
it isn't.
It's the old grunge. I mean, we all love grunge. I mean, like that was like yes.
Yeah,
dog.
and I shouldn't. I mean, what I mean by like, like Courtney Love, when
Started out there,
she
yeah.
did that grunge prom
Mhm.
dress look, it was more like the throwback, like the
Mhm.
Carrie, like the blood,
Yeah, kids are doing. That's right, Carrie. I'm not laughing. That was actually
That's
horrible.
like a
That's a
horrible
horrible
movie.
part. It's a horrible part of that
Horrible
movie.
movie.
But I get it. I mean, like we don't talk about that movie enough. Like we don't talk about that movie. Like I get what
When
Carrie
you were
was
talking
like.
about Kimmy, that was her Carrie. That was her Carrie.
Listen, I wanted
know?
to go back. My sister, she got super, super skinny in high school. I think that she had like a lot of like, she had there were mean girls in her school. She handled herself. My sister she was a B, like in high school. Like she was a B, right? But
she's very petite.
She's very, very tiny. She's very tiny. Like
how tall is she?
My sister is 4'11", and that's pushing it. She's tiny. But my sister, I'll tell you what, one of the best softball players I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's
like
cool.
She would pitch, and she could throw, like she was a windmill pitcher, and she would pitch, and she could curve that I mean, I could never hit off her. And I'm an athlete. I could never hit off my sister. And I hated that. So then I'd be like, I don't want to play with you. Like, so she was a really good softball player. But I remember I started morphing because my sister and I, 5 years apart, was a very long distance for us growing up. And you were the same. So we weren't really like, my sister was off doing her own thing. And I was at home, like being a kid. Right. But I remember my sister had this longtime friend. They're not friends anymore, thank God. But she had grown up with this girl. And this girl was like the one-upper. And I never liked her. There was something about her. I'm like, I don't like her. So I'm in the bathroom of my sister's wedding. And I hear this friend who was in her wedding. And I'm coming out of the stall. And the girl is like, someone's like, oh, you look really pretty. And the girl goes, oh, this is just like my appetizer. My wedding is going to be like 10 times bigger and so much more expensive and extravagant. And I was like,
are you kidding? And she was one of the bridesmaids?
Sarah, I kid you not. This is what yes, I couldn't stand this.
Oh,
I was
wow.
washing my hands. I go like this, take the paper towels, dry my hand, take her, because she had a French twist, boom, right against the done. I got years of pent up, because I was like, what? I was like 22 when this happened. Just beat her tail in the bathroom. Now, granted, I had been drinking champagne all day. I was just like, enough, shut up. And I just went like this, and I came out. And I go, when they ask you, I go, you can walk out there and you can let them know that I did it to you. And I walked out, and I was just, and my sister would have normally killed me. And I was like, she was running her mouth, and I had to step in. And my sister just, I will never forget. She was like this. Okay. Like just like, because I could not, I'm like, how are you? Who? Because this is the girl. She was the faux friend. And she was my first like kind of look into, honestly, when I was a little kid, case study into the chocolate cover razor blade. This was the girl who would like be over at the house. But then when she would be somewhere else, she would never defend my sister. When my sister wasn't in the room, she was like adding to it. So she was like a chocolate cover razor blade. And that was like, I blew that day. I had my hand in her French twist.
Melissa said, oh my gosh, I can't imagine. I would be livid if my son pulled a stunt like that. I would also see red if that happened to my daughter, going back to what happened to Kimmy.
Horrible.
And to think then that, like you described, you would have somebody, and going back to the friend, if you invite somebody to stand up with you and be a bridesmaid, there should be a level of loyalty and trust. Isn't that sad?
I mean, I walked out to my dad, and it was just so funny. Like, my dad is like very Sicilian, right? And I said, I just need to let you know before you hear from anybody else. And he's like, what did you do? I said, I just slammed her head. I said, she was up in there running her mouth. And he's like, she was running her mouth? And I said, yeah. He goes, good.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was
you are such your father's daughter.
I am.
And it's so funny because you guys are like seriously out of a made for TV, like
Mafiosa.
Lifetime movie of East Coast families.
East Coast.
Like,
I mean, like literally. Okay. So my dad like gives like the best. My dad was a longtime basketball coach. And so like the other day, my daughter's team came out. They are #1 in the state for soccer. It's very exciting. And it doesn't, we don't know how long it's going to last. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if your kid has ever made, that's just nice to see that your kid's team hit #1 in the entire state. That's cool, right? That's an accomplishment. So my dad calls me and he was like, I'm going to send you something. So he sends me this picture of Gia during the semifinal game at state last year, where she was very angry in her face because the other team had just scored. He goes, you show her this picture. He was like, #1 means nothing if you don't keep your foot in the gas. He's like, you stay pissed. You play pissed off. You stay pissed. Like, this man is not letting you enjoy anything right now. He is like, you stay hungry. And so it was so funny because she came home from school and I said, Papa wants me to show you this picture. And so I tell her, she's like, send that to me. Thanks. Like, and she's just like me too. Like, it's so, but my dad, but it was really nice though. It was cool because one of my dad's former players commented on because I posted about it on my personal page, and one of my dad's players, he was just basically, it was like, he was the coach of a lifetime. Like, and I mean, this guy is like grown and has like a family of his own, his grandchildren of his own, but he was a coach of a lifetime because my dad was very much old school, like Bobby Knight, like.
Yeah, coaches make huge impacts on kids. So my husband coached on an Indian reservation in Washington State, coached baseball for 20 years. And when we were just out there for our visit to see our grandchild, he ran into some former players, and it was
That's cool.
so cool to see them, because when they saw him, they were like, Kevin. They were so excited. And then when we were leaving, they came over to all of us and they said, this guy means so much to us. And it actually, we all like had tears in our eyes. I
That's
mean,
sweet.
it was so powerful. So you just can't imagine the impact, you know, you have until generationally there are kids telling their kids about your dad, saying, you know,
Oh, it's the
the
coolest
way
thing.
that I was coached by Coach, you know, Baldoviezo. It's amazing the impact that you
And
can have.
it's funny because like the coach that I have in my head that means the most and changed my life is one that took no crap from anybody. Like he's the one that benched me because I yelled at him. He was
Who
young.
you now respect.
Oh, he would
you
sit
know?
there. He was Croatian descent, and like back home, like you know, they are very it's a very tight community. I will never forget. He always had this gum, and he would sit there, and he would play with this gum during the game. But I mean, I had written this one blog, and it went viral. It was crazy, and he ended up reading it. But I was playing basketball, and he was man, and I heard him. But I was like, you know, and I turned around. I was like, what? Like in the middle of the game, and I came out. And I sat at the end of that. He goes, get comfortable. And he put me at the end of the bench. And he comes down and he goes, I don't care how good you think you are. He's like, you ever look at me like, talk to me like that? He's like, he said some choice words. And it was the first quarter, he pulled me out. And I sat on that bench the whole game. And afterwards, since my dad was the boys coach, he found my dad. He goes, hey, Greg, I want to talk to you about, my dad said, you don't have to talk to me about anything. You're the coach.
Mhm.
And that's what we lack today.
Oh, for sure.
That's what we lack today.
Have you seen all these coaches lately locally? I mean, I think there's one in North Iowa, and I saw a post that was getting a lot of traction on X, and it was basically like the coach expressing all of the reasons why the program was struggling now because of parents trying to hijack control.
Oh.
And that's the thing that I mean, see time and time again, we talk about all the time. It's like, you can be a passionate parent, as my husband very much is, but we're not going to try to manipulate playing time or tell the coach, you know, what he or she should be doing. I mean, and that's the part that's so, it is insane the number of sun blind people there are who think that their child is a star. And if you play on travel sports and it's pay to play, your kid is getting a playing time in part because you're paying for him or her to be on the team. And so there's a huge difference from that to, you know, fielding the most competitive or best group of players.
Yeah. I want to say this too, but let's say that there's doesn't matter if it's for the school or for like the recreational or whatever, you know, if there's an A team and a B team and you're angry that your child is on the B team, I don't know why. Why would you want them to sit on the bench on the A team? Don't you want them to get field time, court time, or whatever? Like you want them to play. So put them on the B team. You're upset because it's affecting your own ego. That's why you're upset. Put them where they belong. Put them where they belong. And if they want it, then they'll work hard to get where they are. Like we have to put our own egos aside and just say like, this is what's best for my child. And hey, if they're on the B team, then at least we know that they're getting the minutes that they need. They're getting the playing time and the experience because that's what makes kids better. Every single sport, it's a game of repetition, right? A repetition is going to make us better. But you know, what are your kids doing when no one's looking?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you want your kid to be an elite athlete, then they can't just go to practice and then come home. What are they doing at home? I mean, it's just like all kinds of things, but kids have to be the driver.
Mm-hmm.
Kids have to be the driver. Like I'm sorry. I'm against, you know, like Lucci plays all the sports now. She's very, very busy. But when she comes home, I let her be a kid because she's 10.
Right.
You know, she'll say like, I'm going to go outside and play some basketball. Okay. I'm not sitting here. I'm like, you better. Oh my God. Did you go around the world? Are you like, you know, doing your fingertips? like, let's sit there a bit. Like, I'm not doing that because she still has to be a kid. And
that's right.
I've reached the pinnacle. I've reached the peak.
Yeah.
I went to my husband went, we reached that. And I also have an oldest daughter who was on a national team for soccer. And if I added up all the club soccer fees and the tournaments and all of the things and all of the $80 sweatshirts that we have, you know, and some
you've probably paid for college
twice. And, you know, she came, I mean, she's an amazing soccer player. Like I watched her last night and I'm like, you are so, I mean, she is a talented soccer player. Okay. And she is not playing in college by her design
Mhm.
and her choice. Let them write their story. Doesn't matter how young or old they are.
Right.
I mean, like, do you think Thomas wants to play in college?
I don't know. And it's like you said, so much of it was fun when they were younger. And then by the time they get in high school, it's
Tired.
not fun because everything is high pressure and all the, rankings and all the things. And so I think that he is not, I think he's open to it, but I've stopped
Mhm.
pushing anything,
Is
for
he-
that reason.
Is he like Gia was? Like, so Gia very much wanted, she only wanted to go to big schools with big,
Right. I think that's a lot of it too. Is like,
yeah.
do they want to start at a JUCO, which is fine. A lot of kids do, and then
great.
try to work their way up. And maybe not if it's a kid who wanted to go to like a more traditional 4-year college. So I think it's going to be for both of us a lot in the next year to see how our kids grow and evolve, and just like being okay with giving them that space and grace to forge their own path. And so yeah, so I mean a lot's going to change for both of us. For me, a year from now, I mean, I will be free as a bird, as they say. I will be done with the parenting, the formative years. Now, I know the parenting never ends, but I will be done with kids living at home full time. And that's going to be, it's exciting. I mean, I'm excited. And I've had so many friends and people, even that watch this show, that are saying, like, this is going to be a fun next chapter of your life. And I think for those of you who, if you're like us and you stayed in a place, not where you're from, but because you wanted your kids to have stability, you feel like you've done your time and now you're not tethered anymore to geographical restrictions. And so I think that's, for me, that's exciting because for the first time in my life, I could actually say, where do I want to live? Not where am I going to move for a job, which granted I still potentially would, but it's just exciting to like look at the map and say, the world is your oyster.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to live?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. So it's something that is exciting, but also at times overwhelming.
It is. I can imagine it's overwhelming. You never know. Like, I mean, like you're already a grandma, and then we don't know. I mean, we don't like, there could be weddings soon.
Yeah.
In a few years. Like, we don't know. Like, it's
our
exciting.
daughters are both trad wife material in contrast to us. And I say that jokingly. They're not like domestic goddesses, but they both are a little bit more, I think they have traditional approaches to life in contrast to us, acting like we were so hot in our 20s and it was all about us. I don't think they have those same egos that we do.
In the 20s, it was all about, let me get that outfit from Wet Seal to hit up Ropaho. And it was, I had no desire to settle down. And
Same.
I think, and that was you and I have had the conversations. Tara and I have had these conversations. We were we got married later because we were focused on our career in our 20s. We were also broke because they don't pay a lot.
And we were both very much all about us and our career. And anything with like marriage and kids was not something we weren't averse to that, but it was secondary to our career pursuits.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, absolutely. I knew eventually I wanted to get married, and if I found the right person, then Mr. Telemundo came around. But hola. But I was very honest in the fact, like with Gia, for instance, she wants to marry, and for me, I'm like, I want to be like a young Nona.
Okay.
Like, I want to be like a young,
The dogs are scratching at the door. We can't let you in. We're live not on television. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. We're streaming.
Across
so sorry.
multiple platforms. Across multiple platforms. So the time now, it is 7:49 on this Friday, April 17th. Today is my nephew Jaden's birthday. He lives in Amarillo, Texas. It's Hector's. It's very interesting. He and Nico are 2 days apart.
Oh, that's so cute.
And
how old is Nico turning on Sunday?
He is turning 15. And if you have sons, then you know, and I don't know how it was with Thomas, daughters mature much faster. Right. So and also that first child gives you that confidence to have that second child. Right. And then that second child is a little different. So I always joke with Nico, like growing up, I'm like, when we gonna hit that maturity button? Like, when's it gonna happen, kid? Like, when we doing it? And it's happening, and it's fun watching him like evolve. So you know, he likes to argue. I don't know where he's gotten that from, Mr. Telemundo, not from me. But like, he messed up, did something the other day, and I'm like, you're not supposed to have your phone in school. Like, come on. And he was like, you're right. I messed up. And I went, oh my God, it's happening.
Can you let the dogs in? I'll just let them in since
Yes.
they're scratching at the
Yes.
door. So pardon the interruption. Come here. You can come. This is Griff. We have 3 dogs, 2 Cavachons, and this is Gus. He's the miniature poodle. And I'll let you guys come in here and sit on my lap. And your paws are wet, so lucky I'm wearing black. So
I mean, just relentless. It's a figure. It's the boys, right? The men have to. They want in.
It's the 2
Look at you.
boys,
Aw.
Griff and Gus, and
I
they're
just wanted
if
their
you are
mom.
like us pet lovers, then you know Amanda has 2 dogs, and the dogs become like our children. So they just got groomed this week,
Go ahead.
and here's Luna. This is the sister of Gus. I mean of Griff. That's Amanda's seat.
Can I
That's
say it?
Amanda's
Hi.
seat. This is Luna, and they look so good with their fresh grooming. And then Gus, yeah. So the alpha male dad, my husband, is with Thomas at a doctor appointment. So the dogs were going crazy.
Oh, that's why.
outside
That makes
because-
sense. Well, they don't have
because
their
Dave and
homemade.
Thomas
They don't have their
aren't
homemade.
here. Yeah.
What do they call them? Biddles, kiddles. Is that what are they called? The food when they have like dog food and it's.
Yeah, Kibble. He's got a homemade batch that he does every it's like a 2 weeks worth recipe of their homemade dog food. So are you guys giving each other kisses?
This
So
is like-
crazy. So yes, we are now going to be sponsored by Kibbles and Bits is our new sponsor that we're shooting
Look at
for.
them staring. Look at them staring.
And
at
it's
the
so
camera.
cute because Griff, when he gets groomed, he has like the Harry Potter symbol on his forehead.
Oh
See?
yeah.
Is that cute?
Oh yeah, he does.
I'm,
Look at him.
I mean, like all in as a dog mom.
yeah, you are.
And
You are.
I, and
I'm
I
not a
never
good- I'm not a-
was.
I'm not
I
a
never-
dog mom.
And I never was. I mean, growing up, my dad did not like animals in the house because he grew up on a farm. And then I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, but then I met my husband. And when you fall in love with and marry an animal lover, then it's almost impossible over time by osmosis, right? You share a lot of the same values and passions. And so now I'm all in as a dog mom, and my kids are huge animal lovers like Dave. And so those of you who
Look at-
have children,
The way that Griff is looking at the camera, I'm so sorry. Like he's like, he's got
and
that
they have
mug.
their shot collars that we have an invisible fence. So they go outside and bark at everybody, but they can't leave the yard. So I was just going to say, if my husband is such an animal lover, he did not want to get dogs when the children were young because he didn't want them to go through the death of a pet.
That's so
So
nice.
we didn't get dogs until the kids were in high school. And so now they're 4 and 3, and the kids, hopefully will be long flying the nest when something happens with the dogs.
It'll still devastate them because they're very attached to these dogs.
And Gus is over here now rolling around because he's doing the sillies, as we call it, or whatever.
She is all in.
You guys are being so good. Would you like to say anything, Luna, being here as our guest on the group chat? Gus, do you want to
so
come over
funny.
here? Okay, so comment from Danielle. Our son ran track in 8th grade, didn't participate again until his senior year in high school, and got an offer from Hawkeye Community College. Did that
That's
for a year and
amazing.
a half, and then came to me and said, I'm done. I'm destroying my body. So Amanda, I get it. Well, congratulations to your son. And we respect so much that you supported him walking away, because
Right.
that's the part that is tough. And my friend Jamie, whose daughter plays college softball, was just talking about it last night. She said, there's the mental health piece that's really tough. And these kids, when they get to college, it's like a job. So you have a full course
Yes.
load. You have all the demands of a sport, and it's high pressure in the world of transfer portals, especially when everyone's competing for a limited pool of scholarship
Well, and the
dollars.
problem is the transfer portal has ruined everything, right? So if you're a kiddo, Gia had gotten some offers from some smaller D1 schools, like small, right? Not Power 5 schools. But the big schools, they're not recruiting a lot of kids out of high school because they're going to give the scholarships to the 21, 22-year-olds
Yes.
entering the portal who have
Yes.
experience
That
or bigger,
makes sense.
faster. So it's just too much, and it's okay. Like at the end of the day, if your kid plays sports, you have to ask yourself, whose dream is it, mine or theirs? And if social media didn't exist, would there be that much pressure? Would there be that much pressure? Like, because it's like me too. Like, I love bragging about my children and their successes because it's also like, hey, look what my kids did. I mean, like, let's admit it. Like, that's my kid out there. Like, we get proud. Like, when I see my daughter play soccer and you hear people yelling your name, you're like, I did that. Like, that's my kid. So
And
it
you
is
know how
it's
much
an ego.
work they've put in.
It's
to it too,
a lot of
yeah.
work. But I want my daughter, like, and I want all my kids to go to college, and I want them to have the college experience that I had. Maybe not exactly like I had, but have the college experience that I had.
With some boundaries and bubble wrap.
They need, well, do they still have basements that look like the basements in which we partied in?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure at these fraternities and sororities and these low
The ones
budget
that you need
rental
to-
houses, they're very much alive.
That, like those were the best. When you went downstairs into a basement and it had that musty smell, like, but then like you knew you were going to have a good time.
Well, I told you when I was in college or when I was in high school, I was a sophomore in high school, and my dad's best friend's daughter and her first cousin, Amy and Maria, they went to Notre Dame. And so Notre Dame, where I grew up, was the holy grail for the Catholic kids.
Still is for all over.
Yeah, because that was, close to us in South Bend. And so when we went to a game and tailgated and visit, and I got to go out with them to the parties, and we were in the basement of a house, and all these guys came out jumping in boxer shorts, screaming all the lyrics to Piano Man by Billy Joel, and they were the Notre Dame swim team. So I remember fond memories of my first like Notre Dame fraternity party when I was 15.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't drink then, and I don't drink now, so no worries. I didn't do anything.
Meanwhile, they're
I
singing
didn't do
Piano
anything
Man.
bad.
They're singing Piano Man. My first thing when I walked to my very first college party, I walked in and they were singing NWA's Automobile. Automobile.
Don't Google it.
I think you should Google it. Put it on Spotify. If I just so again, and listen, it didn't shock me. So I'm going to admit that. Like, I know all the lyrics to that song.
Well, we grew up with NWA.
We did.
And
So it
all
was
the
NWA
things.
Automobile. And I remember like I went home after my first party. I did cry because I came from
You
Catholic.
cried?
I did.
Oh my God.
No, because first of all, my first party I saw, there was this place called Keister at Slippery Rock University, and it was an apartment complex, and it was like rows of apartments, and then the streets were packed and dumpsters were on fire, and there were so many people.
Gosh.
And I went to a private high school, Catholic school my whole life, big cities though, but like contained.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like contained. And my school was very diverse and everything. My high school was amazing, but like it was like this overwhelming, like, what am I doing? And then you hear the lyrics to Automobile, and then I saw some things, and you know what I mean? Like you were like, I was a good girl in high school.
That's
I
good.
wasn't,
That's good.
with the occasional mad dog, but whatever. I'm finding my 4-letter word for the day. Look at you. That's all they
This
wanted
is
was mommy.
Luna. You're being such a sweet girl, Luna. Luna's my sidekick. She likes to sleep by me and sit by
She's
me
chill.
when we watch TV.
All right. I'm going to say right now, let's do boss. I'm going to do
Okay,
boss as a
okay.
4-letter word. Go ahead and be a boss this weekend, whatever it is in your life, in your work, in your professional life. You go ahead and be a boss and don't apologize for it. I know my daughter's going to be I just got a text from my daughter if I could pay for her eyebrow appointment later.
She's really going all out for prom.
She sure is. Like,
so
it's the
extensions,
Extensions.
tanning, nails, makeup.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
no makeup. She'll do her own makeup. Which
but
I'm
I mean,
thankful
she had
for.
to buy makeup.
Oh, yeah, she did.
So
$190
she had to get
at
some new
Sephora.
makeup, right?
Yeah, she sure did.
Okay, so the verse of the day actually comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 through 18. I love this, and this has been shared in many different forms with the same meaning. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And this verse, I was doing a prayer and reflection earlier this week, and I screenshotted this because this really hit home for me. I'm going through a really, really tough time right now with my job being eliminated. And so going through the roller coaster of emotions when you're dealing with a rough season in life, where, you know, some days you're like glass half full and you're really positive. And then in other moments you are like, this sucks, and you're really down. And so our friend from Manchester, Rebecca, she actually just messaged me because she had gone through a job loss and found another position where she's very happy. And she said, remember, and I thought this was such a good reminder for all of you going through tough times like rejection, you're going to get a lot of no's, but eventually you will get a yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And so prayerfully, I am ready to receive however that yes, you know, hopefully takes shape. And I'm just really reflective more than I have been in a long time. And that's not a bad thing, because when things are going well, I sometimes tend to like not be as intentional about expressing gratitude and being grateful.
Sure. It's a good reminder. It's a good reminder. Hey, make it a great weekend. We'll show you prom pictures on Monday. See them?
The group chat is brought to you by the empowering staff at Middle River Cabinetry, Splendore the Medical Spa, and Azalea Lane Boutique.